Welcome back. Well, as you know, on this program, we only talk to experts if they have a sense of humor, and otherwise we try to avoid them. We try to talk to people who have direct experience in things. And with that in mind, and the subject being grandparenting, I thought I'd invite back my friend Elaine Gottschall. Hello, Elaine.
Hi, Bruce. Now, I have to warn you, you know, this is not going to be the What on Earth show when my grandchildren see this. This is going to be the Granny Elaine show.
Okay. Now, Elaine, let's plug your book. Just for the heck of a while there, too. It is called Food and the Gut Reaction.
Right.
And the first time you were on the show was talking about that.
That's right.
We got that out of the way. Let's talk about grandparenting.
Okie doke.
Grandparenting is different than parenting. Being a grandparent, what's the feeling of that first grandchild?
Well, you can't explain it. Now, as a biologist, I'm sure some of my friends would say that this idea of the selfish gene being perpetuated, you know, biologists think that this gene has got to be perpetuated. So when you hold that child for the first time, you have this inexplainable, beautiful feeling, and you don't, it's primitive, it's emotional, it's just plain joy. It's like taking that beautiful apple off the tree after you've raised the tree from this high. It's continuation.
We have Granny Elaine in photo form right here. Let's take a look at Granny Elaine. Now, which one is the cutest?
Well, Granny isn't, but the other two are.
These are your grandchildren.
It's Matthew, 5½, and Megan, who's 3½. And they live near Coburg, and they're the joy of our lives.
And that's with Grandpa.
Oh, there's Papa at Christmas. And there's Megan. And that's Matthew when he was 2 years old.
Nice outfit. Very nice, very clever. Now, the kids are coming for a visit. They're going to be dropped off at Grandma and Grandpa's place.
Okay.
What's the preparation?
Well, make sure that they have comfortable bedding and places to sleep, but not too much preparation. A refrigerator filled with really good, nourishing food, because my daughter and I are both very intent on feeding these children properly.
Now, so, do you slip in a few things that you know the kids go for especially?
Well, they're like any other child. They like sweets sometimes, and so I make everything homemade. I make homemade candy. I make all kinds of things, and that doesn't take me long. I have a system, but the refrigerator's filled, that's for sure. But other than that, we do all the things that would come to mind. We crayon. We have tea parties. We have a China tea set, a little miniature one, and they love tea parties, and all they keep doing is pouring cream into hot water, but that goes on for a good hour. And they play the piano, bang on the piano, and we tell stories. Oh, stories are a very important part of it.
What do they want to hear about?
Well, I don't know if this is what they would have chosen, but it was the only thing I could think of. What was your mommy like when she was a little girl? And how was it like when she grew up with her dog, Buttons? And what were you like when you were a little girl and boy? And, of course, the favorite story we have about Matthew. And the minute his sense of humor began developing, I guess when he was about 2 years, and the minute I start telling this story, he just breaks up. That when Matthew was taken out in his daddy's arms to look at the sky one night, came back in, and his mother said, "What did you see, Matthew?" And Matthew said, "I saw the big diaper." And he loves to hear that story. So I keep telling them about their mother and her sister Joan, Auntie Joan, who lives in Chicago, and about the funny things that happened, about the dog almost drowning when they pushed him in the pool, and about the mouse that jumped up on the about the dog that jumped up on the chair because Mommy was on the chair screaming at the mouse, and the dog went ahead and jumped on the chair and barked at the mouse. So these are the stories that...
The oral history of the family.
Well, sort of, yes. I wouldn't say the very historical aspect of it, but the funny things that happen.
How does this differ from the way the experts advised?
Well, I never read a book on grandparenting.
You read books on parenting, though.
I used to read Dr. Spock, and let me tell you about that. I never could find my children in any of those books. Oh, I read a lot of books about parenting. Gesell Institute from Yale had a huge book on what children were, how they were supposed to develop at what stage, and I never could find my children in there. And I finally gave up on that one, but the Dr. Spock was the right, and I know he is the catchword for many people, even to this day. But I remember one thing he said. My children didn't have good appetites when they were little. And he said, you just keep bringing back the meal, even if it takes 6 times. You put it in the refrigerator, heat it, bring it back. My children never ate that meal. And so I just stopped looking in the books. If I wasn't finding anything.
What do you like most about being a grandparent?
I think it's watching them develop. I may not see them. I may not see them for a month. And then I'll go back, and Matthew is now sounding out his words, and he knows all his letters. And Megan is talking like a big girl, whereas before it was baby talk. And it's the sort of the development of them that is so exciting. You're just watching them grow.
A lot of people are about to become grandparents. Words of advice to them.
Well, first of all, I'd like to talk to address those men and women who want to be grandparents and they're getting tired waiting. And I say, okay, and I say, keep your chin up and have hope, because our daughter was married for 10 years. She was a career girl. She was a journalist. And she and her husband were not going to have children. And then they decided they were going to, and it took them 2 years to get around to that. And I thought I was never going to be a grandparent. And the fact that this has happened is so marvelous and so exciting to me. So I say to all those potential grandparents out there, keep hoping, because it will come to pass.
And when it does come to pass?
I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I have.
Elaine Gottschall, nice to see you again.
Glad to be
Drop
here.
in again soon.
Thank you.